Alright, we are live on Facebook, soon to be on Instagram as well. There we go. Beautiful. Good morning, Heather. I hope you're doing well. Nice to see you on here. Let me see here. I got a screen within a screen for the Instagram and for the Facebook. All right. Looks like we're good to go. Who just joined? Stephanie Tracy Reynolds. Thank you very much for coming. Oh, hey, Alicia. Nice to see you all. Thank you for joining me. Welcome to my humble abode. My kitty is sleeping right now, but she might wake up, so if you see a little visitor, that's what's going on. Today we're going to be focusing on the hips. We are going to be doing some longer stretching, so I'm getting my stopwatch ready to go. This is going to be some timed holds, so we're going to get into these positions and hold them for 2 to 3 minutes depending on the position. Again, everything is focused on the hips. We've all been sitting more than we need to be, stuck behind our kitchen tables working and whatnot. You know what I'm talking about. All right, first things first, getting straight into this, we're going to go into our deep squat. So your feet are going to be set a little closer than hip width, right? You want them right at about hip width, toes pointed out slightly from here. You're going to get into this deep squat position, and we're just going to hang out here for the first 2 minutes, right? Get comfortable in this position, long holds. If you notice that your heels are coming off of the ground when you get into this position, like so, you're going to want to actually put your arms in front of you and sit back. You don't want to hunch your back down. You want to try to keep your back in a nice neutral position. Those of us who actually can widen up enough to get deep into this position will be able to sit forward a little bit, which is what you want. But to do that, you have to have adequate ankle mobility. So again, those of you who don't, you can sit back, put your arms in front. A little bit of rounding is okay, right? But I don't want to see you in this position completely hunched over, right? So again, staying up right here from the front, shooting down, we're hanging out. Right in this position. We've already accumulated about 60 seconds here, so again, focus. We're going to keep this hold going strong. You'll notice that babies will get into this position no problem. They'll drop ass to grass to the point where their hamstrings and calves are completely touching, and they'll be able to hang out here for a long time. You'll even notice in Eastern cultures, they'll straight up eat meals from this position. During this time, when we're stuck here at home, I highly recommend you hang out here. Most of the time, we're squatting in our group classes, right? Doing things that get us into this position, especially under load, right? Holding a barbell or kettlebell or dumbbells, which help us stretch in this position. During this time when we're stuck at home, you don't want to lose the range of motion that you generated from all that heavy lifting. So here we are, hanging out, accumulating time in this position. Excellent. We got about 15 to 20 more seconds here, and then we're going to move on to our next series. Those of you who have been joining for these virtual classes or have been joining my stretch classes in person will be familiar with this stretch. It's going to sound like a broken record, me bringing it up, but I definitely think that it's one of those things that you have to keep doing regularly to notice that change with. So that's exactly what we're going to do today. Another chance to get into it. So from here, I'm going to have you drop your hands to the ground. You're going to get onto all fours, right? Your toes are down. You're going to push yourself to a wall behind you, right? You need a wall. You can use a chair here, but I do think a wall is better. You're going to want to have as much of your leg in contact with whatever this is, like whatever surface you're using. So a bench might be a little bit better, for example. What you're going to do now is kick your right leg toes down or laces down onto the wall, and your knee is going to shoot all the way back to this wall, right? Notice The sole of my feet is what's facing you right now. It's because my toes are down, knuckles down against this wall. My knee is shot all the way back, completely in contact with this wall. Some of you are going to have a little bit of tweakiness going on with your knee. You're going to feel some twingy things happening. If that is happening to you, you can kick that knee slightly out against the wall. I'm talking 1 to 3 inches here. I don't want you like 6 inches away from the wall, because the closer you get, the better this stretch will work. Now, from here, you're going to kick this leg up. Left one is up. Generally, it is in line with your hands. Doesn't have to be a perfect line, right? But we're getting into what's comfortable. Some of you are going to want to off stagger your hands, right? Find what's comfortable to get you into this lean. But true form here is going to be feet generally in line with the hands. Now, you're going to be feeling this stretch either on your left hamstring underneath here, depends how tight you are, or you're going to be feeling it on the front of this right hip, which is what we're looking for. So, now that you're in this position, you're going to try to squeeze the glute of your right side. This is the side that is against the wall, the knee that is pushed all the way up, the front side hip that you're feeling that stretch on, that is the glute that we are trying to squeeze. You might only be able to get a second or two out of that squeeze, then relax and go back into it, right? The stretch that you're feeling on the front of your hip is going to be one of two muscles. You're either going to be feeling your psoas or your rectus femoris. Either way, these muscles get tight, they pull us into that seated position, and it gets tight because we spend a lot of time sitting, right? So again, of all the times to be focusing on this stretch, it's now while we're all quarantined inside of our houses. So again, just trying to focus on that stretch on the front of the hip. Now, if you notice from here, I can actually rock myself outside and that stretch completely goes away. We're not looking for that, right? If you're hanging out here and it's completely effortless, you're not doing it right. You want to get yourself into that pain cave. We're looking for about a 7 out of 10 on that scale, right? You be the judge on what that feels like to you, but you do need to sink into this and kind of enjoy the feeling that is going on the front of that hip, right? If you push yourself into a position where it goes away, we're not doing any work here. That's not what we're trying to do today. You can actually move yourself towards the side of that standing leg, almost opening up that foot behind you right here, right? And that is going to intensify this stretch. That's what we're looking for. So we're going to be here for another 10 seconds or so. Now, I have a mace with me to help support me for this next piece. Some of you will be able to grab onto a table, or you can grab a chair and pull that chair in front of you. For obvious reasons, I can't have a chair in front of me. You won't be able to see me. But it's very nice when going into this next position to have something to lean on. That way you're not exerting so much energy in the stability component, but you're focusing on the stretch on the front of that hip, which is exactly what we're looking for. So I've got my handy dandy mace. I know all of you happen to have one of these at home. Kidding. You're going to pull yourself up. Now, for me, in this position, I did have to pop my knee off of the wall about 1 inch to be able to hang out here. So you're going to have to make adjustments as need be. This is an intense position. So if I start cutting in and out on my commentary here, you know why. It's because I'm just focusing on this stretch. So from here, you're going to want to really focus on your breathing. We're going to go in through the nose, out through the mouth. The cat woke up, so you might be seeing her in a minute. From here, keep focusing on that stretch. We're about 1 minute into this harder position. I know this one's challenging, so try to dig deep. If you have to at any moment, regress and go back to your original position with both hands on the ground. Again, keep that focus going. We've got about 30 more seconds here in this position. Super tight here today. We've got about 15 seconds to go. Keep digging. We're going to drop in 2, 1, and drop. Come back off of the wall, catch your breath, extend. When you come into this extended position, squeeze both glutes, right? See if you can pay attention. If that side we just stretched feels better, I can tell you on me, there's no doubt about it. I feel looser on the side that we just stretched. So that pain that we just endured definitely went to something positive. So from here, again, we're in this quadruped all fours position. Knees are on the ground, toes are on the ground, palms are on the ground. We are now going to work on our left side. So you're going to be going knuckles down of your toes or laces down if you've got shoes on, dropping that knee onto the mat, and you are trying to choke all the way up to the wall here. Again, for those of you who have a little bit of knee pain in this position, there is no problem coming 1 to 3 inches away from the wall, but for the most part, if you can stay in contact with the wall, that's what we're looking for. You're going to kick that right leg up, and now we are focusing on that left hip. Again, on this right side or the leg that is standing and is up, you might feel nice stretch in your hammies. That's okay. We are focusing though on the front side of our left hip right now. So again, you're looking to try to contract your glutes. This bottom position favors the psoas. As we go up onto our support, whatever it is, be it mace, chair, broom, whatever you're using, that starts to bias more of the rectus femoris. You know that is what's happening because you'll feel the stretch go all the way from your hip, all the way into the knee. Might even feel like it's kind of like wrapping around your knee towards your kneecap, right? The muscle that it crosses both the knee and the hip is the rectus femoris. The psoas attaches to your lumbar vertebrae, that's your low back, runs through the body and attaches on the front side of the femur, right? This muscle gets tight, starts yanking on our low back, and then you'll start to develop some minor low back pain. You might even notice the back pain more when you wake up in the morning because your body is in an extended position and that extended psoas starts tugging on your low back. Then you end up hanging out there for a few hours throughout the course of the evening, and you can wake up with some nastiness going on in your back. But this is a good stretch to help that. So again, you don't want to be pushing to the side of the leg that's up on the wall. That will reduce the stretch. If anything, you want to pull yourself into the side of the lead leg, right? So just focusing on that position. How much time are we at here? We've got about 30 more seconds in this down position, and then we're going to use whatever support we have and move our way up. Again, these two stretches, you're going to want to spend about 8 minutes total in this position. 2 minutes down, 2 minutes up, left and right. 8-ish minutes. Seriously, try to get this in 2 to 3 times a week. I'll be doing it likely for most of the stretch classes, so if you tune in, we're going to be focusing on these positions, but if not, try to get this in. I promise, when you get back to the gym, your hips are going to thank you. You're going to feel good when you're finally doing your reverse lunges and your barbell back squats. You're going to be happy you did this stretch. So from here, you're grabbing whatever it is that you're using to help you up. We're getting up. Pay attention to see if one side is easier or one side is harder. For me, right now, this is undoubtedly easier than the other side. I had to actually take a break from the commentary on the other side to focus on the stretch. This one, not so bad. It's very common that we're going to do that. The reason is you're going to bias one side or the other, meaning that you're going to lean when you're sitting. A lot of us put pressure onto one elbow while the other hand is up supporting. Those small differences lead to these subtle tightness differences that you feel bilaterally from side to side. So again, we're in this now. We got about 20 seconds to 30 seconds accumulated in this position. Again, I've got this table right next to me. If you have to, go onto the table, right? You can use 2 implements here to help support you. I don't want you focusing on driving this front leg into the ground so hard that your quad is starting to become fatigued, right? I don't want that. That's why we use this. You can lean your body weight onto it and focus on the stretch on the front of the hip. That's what we're hunting for. So we've got about 60 more seconds in this position. For those of you who are struggling here, right, no harm in coming back down. This is totally okay. Even though one of these positions biases or favors rather one of those muscles that I spoke of, doesn't mean that you're not getting in quality work by focusing on each muscle group. So that's what we're looking for. Hanging out right here. Oh no, I lost my timer. There we go. Got about 15 more seconds. It's going to feel good to come out of this one. So keep rowing. Again, the whole time you're in these positions, doesn't matter if you're in the bottom or if you're in the top, you are trying to squeeze your glutes. So pay attention to that. See, as time goes on, I know for sure I can start to feel more and more and more of that glute function coming back. So you're going to set down whatever implement you had, come out of the stretch. Now we're going to sit down. Toes are down. You are sitting on top of your heels. I'm going to have you come up into a hip thrust position. Squeeze both of those butt cheeks. Feel that tension on the front of the hips. It should be dissipated. You should be able to feel a tighter contraction in your glutes now than when we did this in the very beginning. So that's exactly what we're looking for. Excellent. Come back down. Whatever implement you were getting, I'm going to have you move it out of the way. We're going to flip underneath. Legs are straight, right in front of you. Might feel some pops and cracks in the knees. Feels all right. From here, we're going to take that left leg, bring it over the right. Now, always supporting the knee, right? Knee support is going to be number one, paramount in this position. Oh, high key. From here, we're going to grab the shin and pull everything tight to us. Now, in these positions, the knee will always beat the ankle, right? Whatever is closer to your core, right, your chest, has to be the knee, right? Don't let that ankle beat you here. So we're going to pull tight. Now, from here, again, supporting the knee, left leg is bent over. You're taking that right leg, bringing it around the front of the knee. Now you have full support in that knee. This other hand can come in and clasp on your free hand. You can go hand to bicep, right? And then pull tight right here. Now, when we are in this position, again, notice knee beating ankle, right? What is closer to my chest? My knee. Pulling in, right hand comes around, palm to bicep. Now, I don't want you hunching. I want you trying to sit as tall as you can in this position, and that's going to open up that stretch deep, deep, deep inside of your glute, right? It's going to feel like it's trying to pop out the back side of the glute. That's what we're looking for. So again, sitting nice and tall here. I don't want to see you completely hunched over. It's very hard to get a completely straight spine in this position, but the more you can get, the better, right? So we're trying to sit here with nice, good posture. Hold on, leap in here. All right. Resetting that timer. Excellent. Just hanging out in this position. For those of you who would like to intensify this stretch, you can take this free leg and start to bring this knee up. But remember, never let this ankle beat this knee. Those of you who know my athletic past know that I did jiu-jitsu, and this is a very common position that you'll find yourself in. Well, when you're against the resistance of an opponent who you don't know where they're applying their force, you just have to kind of guess their moves before it happens. This is one of the things that you have to think about to avoid knee injury anytime you're in this position. Now, this works if you're in pigeon pose in yoga as well, right? Make sure that that knee is closer to your chest. You do that, you're golden. And that's exactly what we're looking for. No unnecessary force. You just want to place that pressure exactly what you're meant to, which for this is the glutes. So you're going to straighten out, unwind, sit back up. Now right leg is coming over. Again, hand protects the knee, pulling everything nice and close. Now this left hand is going to be what wraps around the knee. You're going to take that left palm and go into your right bicep, and you can come back over, curl, and collect that knee. Again, always protecting the knee here. The foot's fine. It'll do its own thing. For me, way tighter on this side. Again, focusing on that good posture, sitting up nice and tall. If you want to, you can go straight into that advanced position by starting to pull this knee back, right, of the straight leg, creating a shelf for your ankle of the leg that we are actually working on. I myself am just going to focus on this standard stretch. This feels very nice for me right now. So we're going to be here for about another 90-ish seconds. Hope everybody is managing to stay sane. We finished our first week of quarantine. Hopefully things go well, and we have only 2 weeks and some change left afterwards until we're all back into pulse, training hard. It's going to feel good. Oh, excellent. Focus on your breathing. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Excellent. We're going to be here for about 10-ish more seconds. If you haven't, now would be the time to add in some extra tension. Excellent. Straighten the legs, straighten here. From here, we're going to get up. The next little chunk of this is going to be standing. So from here, you're going to be pulling your hands back. You don't want to be shrugging. You want your shoulders down. Think armpit into the pocket, right? You don't want to be creeping up here. You want to be nice and low. So we're pulling back. From this position, feet are going to be relatively wide, toes pointed out slightly. You're going to imagine that at a 45-degree angle, straight out of your booty, right? In each direction is a corner of the room, right? So hands are pulled back. You're with straight legs shooting to the corner of the left side of the room, right? You're going to come back up, and we're going to shoot to the corner of the right side of the room. So you're just going to hop back up. Go nice and slow. Push that glute back, right? So we're putting all of our weight into one side leg. Think 80% on one leg, 20% on the other leg. Arms are down, shoulders pulled away from the ears. Come back up, squeeze the glutes at the top, and then now drive in for that other side. Depending on how tight you are, right? You might actually feel this as a hamstring or adductor stretch. Adductors are the muscles that are inside of the leg, right at the groin. Hamstrings are behind the leg. So depends on where you're tight and what type of training you've been doing lately, but you might feel it there more than you do in the glutes. That's okay. As this unlocks, you'll start to feel that tension come right into the glutes where you're looking for it. Good. Come back up. We're going to just do a few more rounds of this. Again, taking your time here. Focusing on it. I know on this side for me, I feel it way on the outside of the glute, right? It's not necessarily behind here. It's right here. And that's exactly what I'm looking for, right? It's what my body needs. If it's what my body needs, it's what we're hoping to accomplish. Or your body for that matter. I can't be so selfish. So, good. Coming back in. Driving back out. We got about 20 more seconds here. In, coming back. I've been doing tons of single leg work, lots of reverse lunges and Bulgarian split squats. I don't do that type of stuff as much as I have been doing it, and I promise you, my legs are sore. I'm feeling it. Good. From here, feet together. We're going to start left first. Right stays planted, left goes in front, you're bringing it around, and then trying to get those feet nice and close together. I have a kink in my left knee, right? I come across, you can see left knee is kinked, right knee is completely straight. That's what we're looking for. So, in this position, hands, right, straight on top, I'm rotating and coming in, reaching for my right foot, but I'm doing this over the left side. So my whole body is moving to the left side. Good. From this position, some of you are going to be way more flexible than I am. Again, the heavy lifting that I do tightens this whole part of my body up, from my external obliques to my erector spinae, quadratus lumborum, all these muscles that build this side right here, for me, get super tight. This runs into my glutes, into my hamstrings. But for the type of training I do, I need that. Some of you are going to be able to go all the way down and grab your foot. If you can, right, what I want you to do is go all the way to the heel, right? So you're taking that right hand and going all the way to the heel, swimming to the back side of the body. Those of you who are tight like me, just try to reach for that big toe of the straight leg. For me right now, that's that right side. So I'm going to focus here for about 30 more seconds. Just breathe. Focus on your balance. I'll tell you, if you keep both big toes on the ground, you're going to have a lot easier time maintaining balance. So really focus on that. I can already tell that I've gained about an inch more range of motion than when we started. It just goes to show, when you hold the stretch, you have to hold it for quite a while. You can't be doing 30-second holds and expect to make change. Very good. We've got about 15 seconds more right here. And slowly, vertebrae by vertebrae, come back to standing. Stretch the legs out. We're going to work into that other side. From here, the left leg stays planted, right foot comes out in front and then comes back around. You're going to try to keep that nice and close. You now have a kink in the right knee, left knee is straight. Again, you're coming around and into the front. You have a kink in the right knee, left knee is straight. It's exactly what I'm looking for. In this position, hands go on top. You are reaching all the way down, trying to now touch the big toe or inside arch of your left foot, reaching to the right side, right? Again, you might be tighter on one side than the other. I'm tighter on this side right now than I was at the end of the other side, so I know I'll get there. For those of you who are super bendy and flexible, you're actually going to be reaching all the way around to the heel of that straight leg, trying to kind of dive under towards this back wall. So just go based off of where your flexibility is right now, right? All of us, we don't need to have perfect mobility. Perfect mobility is a myth. It does not exist. All you need to do is be able to move good enough for the demands of your physical activity, right? So I squat, bench, deadlift. Those are my go-to lifts, my athletic endeavors. I only need to be mobile enough to get to the bar safely. Those of you who are doing yoga, very different requirements to be good at that particular athletic endeavor, right? So none of us need to be perfect here. You just need to be good enough for what you're trying to do and make a little bit of improvement throughout the course of the day. So I can already tell I'm much lower on this side than when I started. I've got about 15 seconds more here. If you have to, tap whatever's near you for stability. Try to keep those big toes on the ground. I promise you it's going to help quite a bit. And coming out of it, woo, feels very, very nice. Very nice. Now, for the very tail end of this, we're going to go back to what we did in the very beginning of this exercise, right? I want you to accumulate 2 more minutes in that deep squat position, especially after we've done the stretching for the front side, sides, and back side of our hips, right? I want you to notice, do you have more, less pinching in the front? Are you able to go a little bit deeper with a little bit more comfort in that squat? Think about these things as we go down here. So again, if you have to, hands in front for counterbalance and drop as low as you can. We're thinking ass to grass right here. If you're noticing that your ankles are the limiting factor here, right? As you come down into this squat, right? Oh, where's the right mode? Right here, right? As you come down into this squat, you can't get deep enough before your heels start popping off of the ground, right? If you've got this gap between your ankles and you have to sit way back to be able to get all the way down and you can't come here, right? That means that your ankles are tight and we have to work on your ankle mobility. So if that's you, don't be shy. Leave a comment. Let me know. Maybe on Wednesday we'll address some ankle mobility. But if nobody needs it, no sense in me addressing it. So let me know. If it's there, I will do what we can from home for the ankles. We'll get into that. So again, just hanging right here. We've got about 55 more seconds. We'll end with the last minute or so on some nice neck stretching stuff just to shore that up. I know we've been spending a lot more time on computers than we're used to and positions we're not used to spending them. From here, if you want, you can take your elbows, drive them into your knees, go prayer hands in the middle, drive those knees out, feel a nice stretch on the inside groin. I see lots of comments. I'm going to check those out after. Thank you all for attending. I sincerely appreciate it. Can't wait to get back to doing this with you in person. I like that so much more. This is nice, but being alone in my apartment is significantly less enjoyable than hanging out with all of you in a class setting, I promise. So I'm excited to get back to you all. Excellent, excellent. From here, we're going to drop down. I want you going toes down, sitting onto your heels. From this position, you're going to be reaching in for the floor. We're going to go just side to side. Nice and easy. In this position, again, you're pulling your armpits into your pockets, trying to pull your shoulders away from your ears. You do not want to force range of motion here, right? Only go as far as your neck will let you go from side to side. You'll feel the stretch running into your traps, right, into the shoulder. Take your time here. Don't force the position of the neck. Just go nice and easy. We're going to do one more to each side. That's one. One. From here, you're going to go chin to chest. We're going to do nice circles. This time, when you get chin to chest, I'm going to have you immediately reverse the direction. So you're never going to completely follow through. As soon as you get chin to chest, you're going to go to the opposite side. Excellent. Beautiful. One more each direction. All right, chin to chest, pull back up. We're going to do one more neck exercise and then we're done. So from here, you're going to go right ear to right shoulder. I'm going to look up towards the ceiling, down, straight in a line, down my hand, right? Thumb should be pointing straight to the wall to your right. Then I'm going to look right back up to the ceiling, right back down. You're going to feel the stretch deep, deep, deep into your neck. You might even feel like it's running into your traps. Try to pull those armpits into your pocket. We're going to go to the floor, back to the ceiling, neutral, and pull back up. We're going to go left ear to left shoulder, floor first, back up to the ceiling. Again, actively depressing the shoulders, trying to touch the floor. You don't want to actively touch the floor, right? You still need to be out at this 45-degree angle, just trying to get there. Excellent. Up to the ceiling, down to the floor, back to the ceiling. We're going to go to the floor one more time, back to neutral, pull the head back up. Thank you all so much for joining me today. I appreciate it. I hope you feel a little bit better on this Sunday. Get out of your house, take a walk, get moving. This is not a time to be slacking. Again, I appreciate it very much. Stay tuned for the Pulse Facebook and the Pulse Live channel on Instagram. We are going to be doing these the whole time. We are all stuck in quarantine. So thank you much. Have a great day.